teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own.
Not your average nigga, I'm a god out the hood. They can't downplay me, I came up, I'm elevated. I ain't gotta say too much for them to know I'm coming for what's mine. You know they see me in my presence, say they see how I'm coming. Young, but you not just gonna finesse me like you did my peoples. Then back when you said they was emancipated. This ain't that. Your head too big, you feeling yourself. The game wasn't fair, you had the advantage, we wasn't educated. I don't look at you people the same. Nah. Your worst nightmare, my skin tone about them chains. Yeah. Not no circus lion, son, I can't be tamed. You gon' have to kill me, pussy, Toby ain't my name. Y'all still want us think our history started when we were slaves? What? Come on now, talk about them pyramids we made. I was chosen by that man, you know y'all just been running game. The nerve of you acting like I ain't.
Yeah. Welcome, family. Welcome to the Campaign TV show. I am your host, Brother King Cam, and I am streaming from a new software platform, so you have to bear with your brother as we kind of figure out some of the functionality. Shout out to Nathan Blakemore, from Cleveland, Tennessee. So shout out Cleveland, Tennessee in the building. Make sure that y'all hit the comment section. Let me know what city and state that you're tuning in from. But I am going to be trying to work this whole thing. Hold on, let me see something. Let me see. Y'all can see that on the screen? I'm trying to see how I put people comments on the screen. There you go, Nathan. There you go, Nate. I got you up there on the screen, brother. That's hard. So, yeah, I'm able to put the comments up on the screen. So shout out to everybody that's tuning in live right now from Facebook. So what I wanted to get with this new platform is better camera quality, better streaming options, things like that. So that's why we messing with Ecamm now. We was on StreamYard at first, but we messing with Ecamm now. So let me see, because I can look on my phone and let me see if I'm able to see what y'all see. Okay, yeah, I can. And it got the caption on it. Let me see if I move brother comment over here. Let me see if that's going to work. Oh, yeah, that's fire. That's fire. Yeah. All right, family. So, well, we working it out. We figuring it out. But listen, tonight, I didn't even put the title in here. All right, so look, tonight, man, we're going to be talking about a couple of different topics. Tonight, man. Shout out to Eddie. Always been original from Philly. Shout out to Philly. Nathan Fields. What's going on? To the Black Gods. Yes, sir. Brother Bari, assalamu alaikum. Brother Bari, Petersburg, VA in the building. Also, shout out to the family. I'm going to get y'all up here on the screen. Hold on. Let me get y'all up here on the screen, too. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Eddie. Y'all see Eddie right there? Got Eddie right there. Who else? Nathan. I'm about to get Nathan. Shout out to Nathan. Yeah. That's a fact. What's going on, Uncle Tony? Uncle Tony in the building. What's going on, Uncle Tony? Brother Bari. I got you, Brother Bari. I got you. Hit the screen. And shout out to Uncle Tony. I got to get Uncle Tony in there too. Facts, family. So look, I need y'all to share. I need y'all to share this out on y'all platforms to as many people as possible. I need y'all to share this on your Facebook platforms to as many people as possible. Now, on StreamYard, it allowed us to go live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time, but I haven't got there yet. They say you can do it, but I haven't got there yet. So in the meantime, in between time, we just on Facebook right now, just because the presence is a little bit stronger on Facebook than it is on YouTube. But we're going to be talking about a couple of different things. Yeah, shout out to Brother Nathan, man, Brother Muhammad in the building. All right, so look, we are going to be discussing, man, there's so much. It's really, honestly, so many different topics that we're going to be discussing tonight. But Desaun Watson not facing criminal charges in the sexual assault case is going to be something that we discuss tonight, as well as the Black Panther director who was held at gunpoint by the police when he was trying to withdraw his own money from the bank. And also, man, I want to touch on something that happened last week in the Lil Durk interview with $1 million worth of game. $1 million worth of game interview, Lil Durk, and it's been over a year trying to get that interview, and they finally got Lil Durk. They set it up, and man, Wallow dropped some heavy game in that interview. So I want to share some different things like that. Always, Brother Nathan, always. Brother Lawrence Livingston in the building. So let me go ahead and pull this clip up. Let me pull this clip up because this Desaun Watson thing is something that we definitely need to look at. The Desaun Watson situation is something that we need to look at because remember how they was dragging our brother when all of these cases was coming forward. They was dragging our brother when all these cases were coming forward, and they had literally threw the brother away. Most media outlets had threw our brother away. Okay? And now, after the charges have been cleared, now you got all these teams trying to jockey for our mans. Now, remember when he first came out, before the sexual assault cases, he was having an issue in Houston with ownership. He was having a issue with ownership in Houston. Remember, they shipped off his boy DeAndre, because remember him and D-Hop was Clemson. They was Clemson. They both went to Clemson. I believe DeAndre Hopkins went to Clemson. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe DeAndre Hopkins went to Clemson. And they got rid of D-Hop, didn't consult him on the D-Hop situation. Now, so he was having an issue with the management, with leadership in Houston, and then he was talking about how they treated black players. See, remember, Desaun Watson started to see certain things and started to speak up on certain things, and then all of the sexual assault allegations started to hit. I want y'all to notice, because he had put out several tweets. Desaun Watson had put out several tweets about what was going on and voiced his opinion. Actually, the brother wanted to come out. He wanted to get out of Houston. He was saying, get me out of Houston. I don't want to play in Houston. Get me out of Houston. I don't like the ownership. Don't like how they treating players, especially the black players. And he was letting them have it. And then as soon as all of this, in the midst of all this is going on, now all of a sudden, here come all of the sexual allegation cases. Here come all of the sexual allegation cases. So let me see if I can pull this clip up, and we're going to listen to this and see what they're talking about here on ESPN. Let me see how you do this, bro. Hold on. Boom. Update to broadcast. All right, now let me know if y'all are able to hear this. All right, family. So you heard Adam Schefter. You heard Adam Schefter. And I want to read some of this article. Hold up. Shut up. All right. So it says Houston. A grand jury on Friday declined to indict Houston Texans quarterback Desaun Watson following a police investigation sparked by lawsuits filed by 22 women who have accused him of harassment and sexual assault. Prosecutors from the district attorney's office in Harris County, Texas, presented evidence and testimony to the 12-person grand jury for over 6 hours on Friday related to 9 of the 10 criminal complaints filed against Watson. The grand jury, which does not require a unanimous vote, rejected all 9 cases. What is that music? Hold up. Shut up. I hate being on web pages that do that. They rejected all 9 cases. Prosecutors did not present the 10th. Didn't even present the 10th case. 9 cases were rejected by the grand jury. Okay? Evidence was presented, and the grand jury did not see fit that any criminal charges should be brought against Desaun Watson, so they rejected the 9 cases. According to Jonna Stallings, chief of the Adult Sex Crimes and Trafficking Division with the Harris County District Attorney's Office, the grand jury's decision ended criminal proceedings related to Watson in Harris County, where Houston is located. So as you can see, family, our brother had 9 cases presented and 9 cases rejected. Now, as you heard with Adam Schefter, they said it's 22 civil cases, all of that stuff. And we'll wait to see how those pan out. But as it looks right now, there are no criminal cases against this brother. All right? Oh, you couldn't hear it. Y'all couldn't hear it? I can hear him talking. I couldn't hear him. No sound. Wow. Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna pull up something else, and then we're gonna see if y'all be able to hear that too. But basically, what Adam Schefter was saying was basically that he may be facing some type of disciplinary action from the league, but no criminal charges. They did say it's supposed to be 22 cases, whatever the case may be, 22 civil cases. But in the article that I just read, 9 cases were presented to the grand jury. 9 cases were rejected. They didn't even present the 10th case to the jury. And at this point in time, all criminal charges have been rejected. But you notice how, and let me see if I can pull this up, because this is going to help to smooth over my point about Desaun Watson. Because he had tweeted about the Houston Texans leadership. He had tweeted about the ownership. And I'm about to find out if I can pull up his tweet. Desaun Watson tweets. Okay, let me see. And see, this is 2 days ago. I'm not going to be able to pull up the old tweets. Dang, I'm not going to be able to pull up the old ones. But basically, at the time, before they had brought those civil cases on Desaun Watson, he had been tweeting out against the leadership, had been tweeting out against ownership, talking about the racist and white supremacy that was happening inside of the Houston Texans locker room. He was pointing it out. And he was highlighting the fact that it's going on and occurring, and he didn't agree with it. He didn't agree with how the black players were being handled on the team. He wanted out of Houston. There's nothing wrong with that. And as soon as he started speaking up about that, that's when these civil cases came. About a week or two later, after he decided he wanted out of Houston and was forcing his way out the door, speaking on truth, then these civil cases came on him, and they tried to damage his character. They tried to diminish his value as a football player, as a quarterback, because they know once these accusations come, and even if criminal charges are dropped, they're going to be some media talking heads like Steven Steppenfetcher Smith, who's going to continue to say things like, well, because what he said during the time that the accusation started to come about was that Desaun Watson up until this point hadn't had any type of behavioral issues in his professional career, college career. Nowhere in time had he had any issues. But now, because these accusations come, now it tarnishes your reputation. See, no matter if it's pursued in a court of law or not, the court of public opinion ultimately decides your legacy, unfortunately. Unfortunately. And this is why black men, we got to be clean at all times. We have to be clean at all times. We got to be right. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said that our righteousness will sustain us. Well, what does that mean? That means that we have to be clean and striving to live a righteous life at all times, because the enemy is going to be constantly working. The enemy is constantly working to create situations and traps and pits for you to step in so that you can get caught up. Constantly doing that. And if we're not striving to live a righteous life, then when you get pulled over by the police and you got things in your vehicle that should not be there, then your character is going to become crucified. If we get caught pulled over by the police drinking, now they want to accuse you of a DUI. Your character is on trial. See, once it hit the paperwork with white folks, it's there forever. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how much rehab you go through. Remember Michael Vick? Remember the Michael Vick dog fighting case? Even though Mike Vick wasn't even involved hands-on himself, Michael Vick received the brunt of that situation. And because Mike Vick received the brunt of that, ended up ultimately going to prison, serving time in prison, right, for perjury, but then came out, went into halfway house, was released, all of those different things. But then he started to do a bunch of different community activists, sitting down with animal enthusiasts, dog lovers, doing everything that they ask you to do so that they can know that you're sorry for what you did. This is the treatment that they want to put you under, because ultimately white people look at black men, especially black men, as boys. So we want to know that you're sorry. So in order to know that you're sorry, we need you to do this, and we need you to go speak here, and we need you to go and donate money here. Right? So Mike Vick did all this apologizing, did all of this rehab, and till this day, they still bring up Michael Vick in the dogfight game. He can't beat it. He can't beat it. So I say that to say that once it hit the paper, it's there forever. No matter how much you apologize, no matter how much rehabilitation you do, no matter how many non-profits you start, it's still going to be on your record. And this is what they trying to do with Desaun Watson. The same thing. So he did have this tweet after the criminal charges was dropped. Desaun said, "When you stand on truth, the Lord will free you." That's that day. That's a good one. That's a good way to start, though, brother. When you stand on truth, the Lord will free you. See? So that's real. Let me see. All right. Absolutely. Anything to try to keep you in your place. That's a fact. That's a fact. And we have to understand. We have to understand that we have an enemy. Black people have to understand that we have an enemy. And they control all facets of human life today. As of right now, they control everything. They in every industry. White supremacy is in every industry that you could think of. And if you don't become independent, if you don't become free, if you don't own your own land, if you don't work for yourself, then you're always going to be under the thumb of white supremacy. Because they're not just going to, even though that their time is up, they're not just willingly going to surrender. You have to be qualified. You have to be ready. You have to be trained and prepared to take positions, take control of positions that are waiting for you. So we have to understand that we at war, family. Share this out. Share this podcast out to all of your family and friends. This is another episode of the Campaign TV show. I'm your host, Brother King Cam. I got a new software, so if we having some technical difficulties happening right now, please excuse your brother. Charge it to my head, not to my heart. But we're trying to get it together, all right? So, very important, looking at this Desaun Watson situation, and it's not over. Like you said, they already said there's still other cases. So, we're going to see how everything playing out. We're going to see how everything pans out. But it is going to be interesting to watch this. Because, anytime a black man stands on truth, there's always going to be heavy consequences. And I understand. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan talked about this. He talked about how we have a lot of talent in our community as a people. We have a lot of talent, but we don't have a moral compass. And when we don't know God, then money becomes our God. And we'll worship the money, which means you'll do anything. You'll sell your soul. You'll take any deal to make some money because we don't have a moral compass that says, nah, we ain't doing that for the money. All money, not good money. Some kind of way when we get into the industry, hip hop, music, TV, sports, we forget about the OG said, hey, all money ain't good money. We ain't taking all money. All money ain't good money. That's real street wisdom right there, though. So just because they offering you a check doesn't mean that we're going to compromise our morals, what we stand on, ethics, truth, just to get paid. Because you become a sellout and an enemy to yourself and an enemy to your people. So, Desaun Watson, man, we pray and we wish our brother the best. All right? We pray and wish our brother the best as that situation continues to unravel. We're definitely going to be tapping in with that. Make sure you share this out, family. Make sure you like, you share, you comment. Let me know what's happening in the comment section. Let me get over here to the comment section, see what's happening over here, man. Brother Frederick, what's going on? Was in the Army for 25 years. Let me pull this up. Brother said was in the Army for 25 years and black as well as white were equal. So don't think your observations are limited. Ha ha ha, Brother Frederick. Yeah, Brother Frederick. What I would say to that, brother, is we can say that. And that's a beautiful view to have. And in some circumstances, this may stand true. But this world and the foundation of this world, America, the United States of America, was founded on white supremacy. Okay? It was founded in that. The founding fathers. There was no black founding fathers. Okay? So the Constitution, the July 4th, 1776, Independence Day, Declaration of Independence, all of that is for white folks. Okay? Black people didn't go to Europe, take a whole people from Europe, bring them back to America, and have them build their country. Black people didn't do that. Then black people then perpetually continue the cycle for 315 years. We didn't do that. Then we didn't put laws in place. After the physical slavery was over with, we didn't put laws in place to continuously undermine black people after they was physically out of slavery. We didn't do that. We didn't redline. We didn't establish the Jim Crow era. We wasn't night riders. We wasn't lynching folks. We wasn't raping folks. We wasn't pillaging people. We didn't kill the Native Americans, steal their land. We didn't take everything that black people invented and run down to the patent office and claim we invented it. We didn't do that. It's not what we did. It's not our history. So you might find a few cases here and there where you think white people and black people are treated equally, but don't ever forget the history. The Black Holocaust is still standing, still affecting people to this day. Even those people who were born after that. People that were born way after physical slavery was over with, don't think that the Black Holocaust isn't affecting people today. So until we address and redress the effects of the Black Holocaust, white supremacy is still in power. Until we have true freedom, justice, and equality, white supremacy is still in power. Until black people are allowed to get their own land, their own separate territory, a piece of land that they can call their own, white supremacy is still in power. And if you watch the Swan Song, which I highly recommend that everybody go and watch, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Swan Song said that all white power must end. You want freedom, justice, and equality? All white power must end. You want freedom, justice, and equality? Then you need to cough up what black people are owed. Black folks in America should not be paying no taxes. You want freedom, justice, and equality? Then do the right thing. Do the right thing. But don't just come online talking about, oh, well, you know, when I was this place and that place, I saw this person being treated. Yeah. Well, black people, see, we go through a lot. We know what it's like being black in America. Huh? You talking about, you know, what you saw in the U.S. military. Let us tell you what we talk about, what we seen in the hood. Huh? Let us talk about what we see, what the police came through and did to our brothers and to our mothers and to our fathers, the jump out boys. Huh? Let's talk about everything that happened to us in slavery, how families was broken apart, how children were sold off from the mother and the father, how the father was killed, so the mother and the children were left alone. Let's talk about how the slave masters raped the women in front of the father. Let's talk about it. It's a lot of issues that go on that contribute to what you see the current mindset of black people today. Willie Lynch was real. That was a real tactic to sow dissension amongst the people, to create division that still affects us today. So yeah, there may be some of that going on in the military, but we ain't talking about that. Let's not try to redirect. We talking about what's happening today, and we talking about what has not been addressed ever in America. Yeah, Sister Tawana said, look at the difference in Kyle Rittenhouse and Jussie Smollett cases. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, we know. But this is why the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said you shouldn't be. Listen, Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said you shouldn't be joining the white man's army no way. Shouldn't be joining the white man's army no way. If they ain't giving us no land and territory we can call our own, we ain't got nothing to fight for. What we going to fight for? You seen black people now talking about running over to Ukraine to fight in Ukraine. Fight in Ukraine for what? Hey, Putin ain't never did nothing. Putin ain't never did nothing that Clinton, Bush, Reagan, Nixon, Trump, Biden, Carter, Bush too. Putin ain't never did anything that they haven't done to me in my face. So don't get to talking to me about what Russia is doing to Ukraine and how we need to go and help the Ukrainian people. You can't help yourself, let alone running over there talking about helping the Ukrainian people. We're going to run over there guns blazing for Ukraine. But where was our neighborhood security community patrol when they got George Floyd? Where was the uprising in the neighborhood patrol and the community protections committee when they got Trayvon, when they got Mike Brown, when they got Tamir Rice? Huh? Where Eric Gardner? Where was all of the protecting the community then? Why we don't have the same energy for our own people, the same love for our own people that we have for Ukrainian? Half of y'all ain't never been to Ukraine. You don't even know what's going on in Ukraine. What you running to Ukraine for? Most of y'all don't even have a passport. So just miss me with Ukraine. All right. So, man. So, yeah, man. And then you got this whole Black Panther director situation, right? Which is all over social media. And he actually spoke out too. So I want to pull up the article about him, and then I want to, kind of go through the situation, because there was a lot of people that was going in on him, going in on the teller at the bank, and we're gonna talk about it. So let me pull this up, right? This is at globalnews.ca. Okay. Globalnews.ca. Let me see. Yeah, why we always want to die for others and stuff. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is why we got to have the redress for our community. This is why we got to have redress for what happened to us in slavery, because we're not mentally stable. You're absolutely right. Why we always want to die for others instead of putting ours first. That's just natural. But because we've been in an unnatural place with unnatural people learning unnatural things, our mindset is unnatural. So we do and say stupid things like we're saying right now about going to run and fight in Ukraine. Highly intelligent, family. And this is why knowledge itself is so important. I need y'all to share this out on your platforms. Thank you for those who are commenting, tapping in. This is why knowledge itself is so important, because when you don't know yourself, people can come in and teach you anything about yourself, and then you go and run with it, and you out here living backwards, thinking backwards. And other civilized people are looking at you like these people are crazy. And this is what's going on. And the same people with the say they want to go over there, the fight is the same people. We stand around and watch policemen beat up a black man and do nothing about it. Absolutely. We'll video record our brother or our sister being mistreated, mishandled, assaulted by the police, and won't do nothing, because it was people that video camera what happened to George Floyd. And that's why, it blew up the way it did. But we got to be real. Like, how many of us going to stand around and watch our brother be choked to death? Watch our mother be mistreated, mishandled? Like, are you a man and really going to sit there and allow that to happen? Come on now. I mean, how are women and children are supposed to feel protected, supposed to feel safe, and we can't even protect ourselves? Because up until this point, they haven't seen any black men. They haven't seen any black men necessarily standing up. They haven't seen no strong examples of no black men. So excuse the ladies if they ain't really trying to fool with us right now, brothers. That's just the real. I got to keep it authentic. I got to keep it authentic, because right now we looking weak. Right now we looking weak out here. Right now we looking real weak out here. So if the sister's not feeling that, bro, that's on us, because we supposed to protect and provide. We supposed to protect, produce, and provide, and it don't matter what order it's in, but all three have to be included. And right now our protection is looking real weak. So how you expect the women and the children supposed to feel? See, it's just the actuality, the reality of the situation. So let me pull this up for y'all so y'all can check this out, because this is important as well. with our next topic. All right, with our next topic. Hold up. What I hit? Uh-oh. Thought I did something. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. Sweet. All right, so Ryan Coogler. Now, first of all, I didn't know who Ryan Coogler was. I did not know who the Black Panther director was. Never heard of him. Never seen him. Anyway, brother goes to Bank of America to try to withdraw some money out of his account. I'm going to read you the story, and then y'all tell me in the comment section if this is valid. Okay? It says Black Panther director Ryan Coogler was detained by police earlier this year. When they mistook him for a bank robber, a police report was revealed. The report obtained by CNN says Coogler was put in handcuffs on January 7th after he approached a teller at a Bank of America branch in Atlanta and slipped her a note asking for a large sum of money to be discreetly withdrawn from his personal account. The teller reportedly told her manager that she thought the bank was being robbed. According to the Atlanta Police Department report, Coogler entered the bank wearing a COVID-19 face mask, a hat, and a pair of sunglasses. When he approached the counter, he slid a note to the teller that read, "I would like to withdraw $12,000 cash from my checking account. Please." I guess that means do not count the money, or please do the money count. Oh, please do the money count somewhere else. I'd like to be discreet. Okay, so in this day and age, we know that the face mask, sunglasses, and a hat is not that big of a deal because a lot of people wearing that because of the pandemic. People mask up, so you go into bank branches, you see people with sunglasses, hats, and masks on. So that's just what it is today. Okay, that's not nothing to red flag. But the part about the note is what threw people off because it's like, yo, who writes a note about their bank transaction? But this is what they said the note said. He wanted to withdraw $12,000 cash from his checking account. Please do the money count somewhere else. I'd like to be discreet. The New York Times reported that Coogler told the police he was paying for a medical assistant who worked for his family who preferred to be paid in cash, hence the large amount. The teller, who is black, as is Coogler, was pregnant and worried about her safety at the time, according to the newspaper. This situation should have never happened. However, Bank of America worked with me and addressed it to my satisfaction, and we have moved on, Coogler said in a statement to ET Canada. So Coogler moved on. He said it shouldn't have never happened, but at the end of the day, he said that they addressed the situation. Now, let's look at this video clip, and then we'll go on to give some commentary. Let me know if y'all can hear this. Are y'all able to hear that? Let me jump out. Let me jump out. Let me jump out. I don't think y'all can hear it. No sound. Okay, cool. All right, so we're not going to play it. I'm not going to play it. All right, let me do this. All right, I'm not going to play it. I got to fix the sound. Every time I try playing video, it's no sound. But y'all can see the articles, though, right? The ones that I'm reading. Let me know if y'all can see the articles on the screen, though. Okay. All right, that's fine. I know y'all can't hear, so I'm not going to play the audio, but can y'all see the articles when I pull them up on the screen? Are you able to see the articles? Okay, so you're able to see the articles. Okay, so basically that was an audio clip of him being detained inside of the Bank of America. So this is the thing. They said he went inside, the face mask, the sunglasses, the hat, which is typical. Everybody looked like that today during the pandemic. The last 2 years, that's what everybody looked like. So that's not a red flag to think that the bank is being robbed. All right? But but they small. Okay, Brother Nathan. But this is the kicker. He writes a note asking for the amount of cash and to do the money count somewhere else because he would like to be discreet. Now, that's a red flag for me because I'm going to say to myself, well, why didn't you just tell me that? Because you got to think about it. And y'all let me know if I'm tripping. But when I go to the bank and I'm at the teller, there's nobody directly behind me. I don't know, Brother Nathan. You let me know. Sister Tawana, you let me know. When y'all go to the bank and y'all handling y'all business with the teller, is there anybody that's directly behind you that can hear what you saying to the teller? Because if it is, then brother justified in what he was doing. Like, it's people up on my back. I really don't want everybody to know what's going on in my business here. And I would have said that like, okay, look, I don't want people to hear what I'm talking about. So I'm going to write on this paper. I want you to go ahead and follow these instructions on this paper. I'm not trying to rob the bank, but I'm trying to handle my businesses in a particular type of way. Right? Boom. Like you have that exchange so that, everything is clear. But you just don't roll up in the bank with a note and think that, and you talking about withdrawing a large sum of money or cash and don't think somebody's going to find that weird. Nobody come to the bank and give notes. Exactly. It's social distancing. So again, it's nobody sitting up on you while you handling your business at the bank teller. That's number one. So I don't understand why you come in with a note. I understand that, Brother David. And he gave the ID. I understand that too. But this is what people that don't realize, and I don't expect people to realize this, but scamming is, like the thing. The scamming is like alive and well. So IDs, social security cards, you know what I'm saying? Bank cards, credit card, all that stuff can be made. It's just like you going to the grocery store picking something off the shelf. All of that stuff can be made. So that doesn't necessarily mean that it's valid because they present it. But even with that, I understand that to be a point of contention. But again, the note is still a red flag. So at the very least, if I'm not going to make the call myself, at the very least, I'm reporting the situation to the management and say, hey, brother presented the ID. He presented the bank card, but I want you to take a look at this. I don't know. He gave me the note. I don't know what's going on. What you recommend me to do? What you recommend me to do? And then you go from there. That's what you're supposed to do. But possibly, and I never worked in the bank. My wife worked in the bank. So she said that they have a particular type of training. And that particular type of training is to look for certain things that bank robbers may do. And I'm assuming that passing the note at the bank is something that a bank robber would do. So it looks kind of weird. It looks fishy. It just looks off. Because, and this is another thing. This is another point of contention. Fine. You want to be discreet in handling your business. Why not go to a personal banker? If you're withdrawing a large sum of money from the bank, why even deal with the teller where people may have an opportunity to hear what's going on and see the amount of cash that you're getting? Why not go sit down with the personal banker, go into the office, handle your business in the office? They put your stuff in an envelope, in a bag, whatever you got that you want to take your money out where it look discreet, and then you go on about your business. Like, this is basic banking 101. If I'm coming to do a big transaction, I'm not going to the teller. I'm going to the personal banker. So to go to the bank, write a note, talk about being discreet, it's not normal behavior. So as the employee, based on the article, based on what was said, based on what was reported, she did the right thing. Now, when the police got there, was they doing too much? Because you saw in the video how when they got there, they told him to put his hands behind his back. The officer that was standing behind him literally pulled out his weapon, which was not necessary, right? So we understand that when the police come and it's responding to a black man, that they always doing too much. So we agree with that. But again, everything that happened up until that point could have been avoided. Could have been avoided. Like I said, if it was so concerned about being discreet, that's why they got personal bankers, bro. You can go in there, tell the personal banker what you're trying to do. Boom. They take you in the office. You tell them, hey, look, I don't know. I don't want everybody to see what I got going on. I want to go in the office. Boom. They go in the office. They close the door. Whoop de whoop. Everybody mask up. They give you the money. They give you everything that you need, and you bounce up out of there. But again, who writes the note? That again is some bank robber type stuff. Like the people that's saying that it's not weird, don't go to the bank and write notes. The people that saying, oh no, she was doing too much. I don't agree with the fact that she should have thought you don't go to the bank and write no damn note when you trying to withdraw some money from the bank. And some of y'all probably withdraw some large sums of money from different things that y'all may be doing. Y'all don't withdraw some money. You ain't winning as a write my note before I get to the bank. And then hand it to the teller. You ain't never did that in your life. So I don't know how y'all sitting up here talking about he wasn't being weird. That was weird. And the bank teller did what she was trained to do, which was at the very least report to management. And then management makes the call after that. So if y'all gonna be mad at somebody, don't be mad at the teller, be mad at management. They the one decided to say, hey, let's call the authorities. They the ones that decided, let's call the authorities. He told her that he would give her his pen if she won't do it. As a black man, I would never go into a bank and hand over a note. I would do it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like who thinks to go into the bank and write a note? Like nobody does that, bro. Nobody does that. Now, if he was like, for example, if he had been dealing, if he got a specific person that he deal with on a regular basis, he go to the bank all the time. They know his face at the bank, right? He come in there often and he deal with a particular type of person and he always does his transactions this way, has a history of doing it. Then that's something totally different. Again, even if he communicated to her when he got to the window and said, hey, I want to make a withdrawal from my account. I'm going to write down the instructions so that I don't have to talk about it out loud because I'm trying to be very discreet in what I'm doing. So now you're briefing the teller on what's about to happen. But the mere fact that you just come in and slide the note is like, come on, bro. Come on. So again, I don't believe that is on the teller at all. It was weird behavior. I would have thought it was weird behavior myself. And she did what she was trained to do, which was reported to management. And then, of course, when the boys in blue get there, then they blow everything out of proportion. And I agree with you 110% on that. But as far as him, in this note business, bro, don't go to no bank with no damn note. You go to the bank and speak your transaction. Don't want no mistakes. But he also gave her his ID. She said she had anxiety too and have it plenty of times before. That wasn't the first time he did that. If I had been a white man, she was another question. We could say that if it would have been a white man. But then again, I don't know too many white people that's going to the bank handing notes. I've been in the bank often, and it's just not people handing notes in there. They go to show you in America now, okay, how much money you get. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Well, of course. Of course. We all know that a white man been an hour never happened, but have been our condition like the white man, additional people, black. So, exactly. And again, this is not to say, as y'all know, on my platform, this ain't to say that white supremacy not at work. We know that. We know white supremacy's at work all day, every day. White supremacy don't sleep. But again, this is what happened when you begin to believe that you are in a post-racial society. When you begin to believe that white supremacy is not at work. when you begin to believe that you equal in a society that is unequal to the black man and woman in America, this is what happened. This is why knowledge itself is so important. Don't go in there thinking that you can do what white people do. Even if white people are writing notes to bank tellers about taking their money out the bank, you don't do that because you can't do what they do. You need to go in and you need to over communicate. You need to make sure that they understand and understand what you're trying to do. We got on masks and hats and sunglasses. We already looking off. So any other type of weird behavior is going to trigger. Come on now. We just got to be smart. We just got to be better. We just got to do better. When you know better, you do better. See? Right. Lesson learned. No harm, no foul. My man's kept his composure too, because that's another thing that we as black people got to learn how to do. When we encounter the police, okay, this is a lesson that I'm about to teach you something. Dr. Khaled taught on this. He said when you are encountering the police, you have to treat them as a opposition. I'm paraphrasing, but you have to understand that they soldiers for the United States of America, right? They soldiers for white supremacy. And you being a black man are on the opposite team. So as a soldier who has now encountered the enemy, you have to behave in a way that you would if you was at war. So what does that mean? That's not advocating violence. That's not advocating violence. That's not advocating violence. What that means is, you have to understand that these people are here to potentially do harm to me. Hear what I'm saying? The police, when they show up to your house, to wherever place you're at, they are there to potentially do harm to you. That always has to be in your mind. So the first thing that you have to understand and know and realize that you have to control your emotions. They looking for a reason. Just give them a reason. They'll do it with no reason. So if they'll do it with no reason, if you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. If you reach in your pocket, they're going to take that as you reaching for a gun. If you move a certain type of way, if you don't over communicate a certain thing, then it could potentially end in you losing your life. So we have to always be cognizant of that when we are dealing with the enemy. And we don't do that oftentimes. We want to try to go toe to toe with the police. We want to talk about law. We want to talk about policy. We want to argue the charges. And it go back to what I said earlier in the podcast about being right and being clean. If you clean, if you right, and you keep your emotions in check, you can make it home. If you clean, you right, you keep your emotions in check, you learn how to shut your mouth, you can make it home. But you fail to realize that these people are coming there to take your life. They just looking for a reason. So shout out to a brother who was able to keep his composure and understand the situation and the climate that we in. And say, hey, all right, y'all got it. I ain't making no sudden moves. You said handcuff me. I'm not making no moves, handcuff me. See, sometimes we confuse submission, for weakness. We trying to diffuse the situation. We trying to make it home. It ain't worth all that. You trying to prove your point in the bank, trying to prove your point on a traffic stop? No, sir. No, sir. No, ma'am. Absolutely incorrect. So we got to understand. David said that's because many of us don't understand the rules of engagement when behind enemy lines or a captive prisoner. Teach on that, Brother David. We don't understand that. And this is why we end up costing ourselves our lives, because you don't understand. See, those race soldiers that show up, they come in with a particular agenda. They come in to carry out the orders that they've been given. So technically, we can't be upset when they carry out the orders that they've been given. It's the way that we respond. It's the way that we respond. Now, that doesn't, again, we're not talking about where they have completely just ran up on innocent people and chopped them down. We know that occurs. Of course, we speaking out against that type of behavior. But again, all these traffic stops, the situation in the bank, all these different things. We have to understand that, again, these race soldiers are coming with orders. We have to understand the rules of engagement. We have to understand that we're behind enemy lines in a captive prisoner. This is not our world. This is not our land. So you can't be operating like it and then get upset when they do business the way they do business. See, we got to educate ourselves. That's why we can't be running around here being silly all the time. I like to be funny. I like to laugh. I like to joke, but we can't be funny all the time. Because there's a lot of people out here that haven't educated themselves that lose their life over ignorance. A lot of things could be avoided if we would just educate ourselves. A lot of things could be avoided if we would just educate ourselves. So that was another thing that the brother was able to do with the police pulling out their pistols and things like that, pulling out their guns. He was able to keep his cool and able to make it home, because that's the name of the game. All of the other stuff can be handled and hashed out in court. That's what they got attorneys for. That's what the system is supposed to be designed to do. Okay? But most importantly, we should be thinking, like the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad told us to think, separation. Okay? Because if you got your own court system, you ain't got to deal with this. But we spend so much time as people, we spend so much time trying to integrate with the enemy. We spend so much time trying to love the enemy, trying to figure out why the enemy don't love us. It's because he's your natural enemy. He's not supposed to love you. He's not supposed to have no love for you. He's acting in accord with his nature. You should act in accord with yours. And the last thing that I wanted to discuss, family, and this is your brother King Cam, and we are live from the Campaign TV podcast, another episode. We wanted to address something, an interview on $1 million worth of game with Young Dirk. Man, shout out. Let me know in the comment section if y'all know who Young Dirk is. Let me know if y'all know who Young Dirk is in the comment section. But Young Dirk is a rapper, hot rapper right now, and did a hot interview on $1 million worth of game. But in that interview, and I can't pull the clip because we can't hear. So, not able to do the audio, but in the clip, man, Wallow was talking about how two things. He talked about not standing around those people who are successful and not knowing your role. That was very important. Very important, because oftentimes we got ball players, basketball, football players, athletes, rappers, very talented individuals, comedians, right? People that's making it out of the community, doing big things, and they got people around them that's just there. They're not of any benefit. Nobody's playing a role, but they're trying to reap the benefits of the one person. So Wallow was giving game and was telling them, like, nah, you need to be operating as management. You should be checking the emails. You should be helping out with on the road. You should be flying into the city early to make sure that the room is set up properly for when your mans get there, right? You supposed to be handling the merch, printing up the t-shirts, printing up the hoodies and the sweatsuits, making sure the logos is on point, because that's a business. This is how everybody eats. But you can't just be around people and getting money and not being of any benefit, not adding any value to the situation. So that was one thing that Wallow talked about, which was key. And we see that a lot in our community. It's 50 niggas on stage when it's a rapper on there, all of that kind of stuff. But how many of them is actually contributing to the overall success? Are you just riding the bandwagon? You just riding the coattail? Everybody has a role. Everybody have a part to play. I thought that was very important, and our youth need to understand that. Everybody got a part to play. Uncle Tony said that's why the Italians had their own spot, that I was hired on spot. Even the Chinese people got their own spot. Chinatown, where the black man don't have a town. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's why it's important, and we have to have our own. We have to have our own. You can't do nothing if you don't got your own. If you ain't got your own, you just peeing in the wind. You have to have your own. Got to have your own table. It's cool to have a seat at the table, but whoever table it belongs to is the one that got the power. And at any time, it can kick you out off that table. So we got to have our own, man. Yeah, and we did have our own, Brother David, before integration. This is why Dr. Martin Luther King said, I fear that I've integrated my people into a burning house. Because he saw that he had got swindled. He saw, like Malcolm said, he had been hoodwinked, bamboozled, run amok, led astray. Martin Luther King saw that in the last year of his life. He said, damn, trusted these people because they made a bunch of promises. He went to the White House. They let him go to the White House. He hanging out with presidents and all that stuff. But they never came through on any other promises. And ultimately, he saw what the bigger picture was. They had pushed him out front as the spokesman for integration and sit in and lay in and lie in and die in. All these different type of protesting styles and methods that didn't include economic withdrawal, which he found out at the later time in his life, towards the end of his life, that is what really can create change. But all these other type of demonstrations were nothing but symbols without substance. Nothing but symbols without substance. And he realized he had been used. He realized he had become a tool for white supremacy. And he had had a hand in having our people integrate into white society, which allowed for our black cities and towns to die out. That's just real. Artists adopt the kingdom from father, rubbing elbows with the white man, still rubbing elbows with each other was the wrong. We should create our own, and we should have asked for better schools instead of rubbing elbows with white men. That's a fact. That's a fact. We had our own schools. We had our own hospitals. We had our own pharmacies. We had our own entertainment, movie theaters. We had all that stuff. Black-owned banks, hospitals. We had everything that we needed. We was good. See, the thing about it is that we have everything that we need. We built it. Everything was smooth sailing. And then here come the enemy trying to tear it down because they was mad that we was doing good without them. See, white people got to feel needed. And they got to have some type of power and some type of capacity. So you notice, this, and they do this even in our movements and our organizations today. They want to come in. They want to help. They want to give ideas. They want to be a part of the planning committee. That's them trying to get in power. That's them trying to have some type of leverage, trying to have some type of hand in what's going on. We got to be careful of that in our organizations. Those that allow white people to be in the organization. That's why in the Nation of Islam, you don't have no white people in the organization. Up in leadership. Giving out any instructions. No, sir. No, sir. That's a fact, Brother David. Not only were we doing better than them, not only were we doing good without them, in some cases we were doing far better than they were. That's an actual fact. We were doing far better than what they were. Far better than what they were doing. And they don't like that. See, they don't like to see black people being independent. They don't like that. So because they don't like that, what they do now is they got to destroy what you built. And this is why we can learn from all of the black cities and black towns that we owned before. We can learn from the Tulsa, Oklahomas. We can learn from the Rosewoods and the Auburn Avenues in Georgia. We can learn from all of those situations that happened before us, why it's important that we must protect our communities and make them safe and decent places to live. That's why we have to do that. That's why those of us who have ex-military experience, ex-police experience, we have to train the young gang members who's already toting guns and, already aggressive. We got to teach them how to channel that aggression into protecting their community. We got to teach them how to channel that energy, not to robbing and killing your own people, but you should be and create a security company. You should create a security patrol company and then have the community pay for your services by protecting the community. Because that's all the police are. They just paid by the city, paid by the state. But we the people want our own community police. We want our own community patrol. So we don't need y'all police. We got our own community patrol. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of the bill. We'll make sure they eat. That's what we got to do. We got to get back to thinking like that, though. We got to get back to thinking like that, though. If we're not getting back to thinking like that, then we're not ever going to be able to see progress, because white folks not going to help you be progressive against them. White people not going to help you be progressive against them. You think they going to help you to separate from them? No. Why? Because their whole existence is based on you being subservient to them. Their whole world is based on falsehood and you being subservient to them. So why would you think that they want to increase your role, help you to upgrade your role? Because they really don't know how to do nothing. It was our knowledge. It was our understanding of supreme mathematics and science. It was our civilizations that they saw when they first came to the motherland, when they first got to Africa. This is why white people explore all the time. See, you got to watch your enemy and understand what's happening. See, the white man does a lot of exploring because he is going out and seeing, okay, what type of atmosphere, what's my terrain looking like? Who built that? Oh, who's in charge of creating that? Who is the mind that's behind that? Oh, they were the mind that was behind that? Oh, those were the people who built pyramids? Oh, wow, those were the people who had airplanes before we had an airplane. Oh, wow. Okay. So if we can trick these people into coming with us, and then we can enslave them, we can have them build for us what they built for themselves. We can have them build for us what they built for themselves. Till this day, white folks can't tell you how pyramids got to how they got to. Till this day, they can't tell you certain things that's happening. Till this day, they can't tell you. Why? Because it's above their knowledge. It's supreme wisdom. So they make up a lie and we just go with it. They tell you that it's aliens in space. The small, tiny green people. They just say anything, and they know we lazy learners. They know we refuse to read and refuse to do any research, so we believe anything that white people say. They say it, we believe it. They throw it in the movie just to make sure they reinforce it, to make sure that you know it's real. So we got to get out of that. That's right. That's what the scriptures say, Brother David. The God said, where you been, Satan? He said, I've been walking to and fro, seeking whom I may devour. Yeah, the God, right, was talking. Look, he was talking to the sons of God. He was talking to his own sons now. The sons of God is walking, and they come in to see the supreme one, and they came right in there with Satan. Now check this out. The sons of God didn't even know that they was walking with Satan. Brother David, they didn't know that they was walking with Satan. Well, how could you be walking with somebody and don't know who he is? The reason why you can walk with somebody and not know who he is because you don't have the proper identification. This is why there's a man that has to come and teach you who Satan is. Satan has to be revealed so that you can have the proper identification, so that you can beat what was already taught to us in the scripture. So now you, son of man, sons of God, now you sons of God, don't be walking with Satan and not know it. Because see, in this day and age, now you can't be walking with Satan and not know it. You walking with Satan because you want to. See, you can't Today you can't be walking with Satan and not know it because the man of sin has been revealed. So when we see you walking with Satan, it's not because you don't know it, it's because you want to. You willingly walking with Satan. That's what that scripture is talking about. Satan ain't no spook. He ain't no spirit. He ain't nowhere that he can't be seen. He's a living, breathing human being doing other than righteousness. And how is he doing other than righteousness? How do you know he's doing other than righteousness? Look at his resume. Look at his history. Look at his track record. That's how you know if he's doing other than righteousness. Don't base his whole people off of one person you know that have done righteousness. It's good people everywhere. So we're not saying every single person, every single Caucasian is doing wickedness, but for the wise among them, the powerful among them, have built their legacy, built their dynasty, built everything in blood. That's a fact. That's a fact, Brother David. He's going to show you who he is. You just got to do a little bit of research. We can't be lazy learners, family. We can't be lazy learners. But I appreciate y'all for hanging out with your brother, man. We closing it down for the night, man. We creeping up on an hour and 15 minutes. This was the first time live broadcasting through Ecamm. So we did pretty good. Wasn't able to get the sound up, but it's okay. We're going to be working on that to make sure that we get the sound up next show, which will be Tuesday, family. But we was able to get some things up on the screen. I'm going to go back, watch the playback, see how we can get this thing up, man. I appreciate everybody who tuned in, everybody that had comments, who was talking to your brother in the comment section. Good night, Sister Tawana. I appreciate you for tuning in and just giving your perspective. It was much appreciated. You added so much value to the conversation. Yes, sir. Wa alaikum salam, Aki. Brother David, I appreciate you. Brother Uncle Tony, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Brother Nathan, as well, for tapping in, man. And everybody who was in here. Sister Leslie, I appreciate you. And everybody for, man, tuning into the show. Everybody that shared, everybody that commented, man, we appreciate it. Man, we're going to be here again next week, man. We got some big things coming up. We're going to be making some announcements on the show. Man. We got some events that's going to be coming up as well. So you're going to be hearing all about that. We in the early planning phases right now. But as more information is gathered and as we get everything squared away, the podcast community is definitely going to be informed. And I'm going to learn how to put up some more information on here too, because when I went live, I didn't even put the title of the show up. That's how y'all know this is new software for me. So I have it together next week. I'm telling you, I'm going to have it together next week. And I'm gonna have, everything set up so you can be able to see the text number and everything like that. For those who want to be on the podcast, who want to be a part of the podcast community, because I don't think I can put it up now. I don't think I can. Let me see. Hold up. Nope. It ain't gonna let me put it up now. Yeah, it ain't gonna let me put it up now. Yeah, so I had to do it prior to the show. But we'll have that squared away next time, family. So I certainly appreciate it. So again, appreciate everybody for tapping into the show, man. And I leave you in the greeting words of peace as we say it in the Arabic language. Assalamu alaikum.
Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. Any leadership that teaches you to depend upon another race is a leadership that will enslave you. They gave leadership to our foreparents, and that leadership made them slaves. But we have decided to find a leadership of our own.
Not your average nigga, I'm a guy out the hood. They can't downplay me. I came up, I'm elevated. I ain't gotta say too much for them to know I'm coming for what's mine. You know they see me in my presence, say they see how I'm coming. Young, but you not just gonna finesse me like you did my peoples. And then back when you said they was emancipated. This ain't that. Your head too big, you feeling yourself. The game wasn't fair, you had the advantage, we wasn't educated. Look, I I don't look at you people the same. Your worst nightmare, my skin tone about them chains. I'm not no circus lion, son, I can't be tamed. You gon' have to kill me, pussy, Toby ain't my name. Y'all still want us think our history started when we were slaves? Come on now, talk about them pyramids we made. I was chosen by that man, you know y'all just been running game.